Hi friends, welcome to Ahilu Arts channel. I am Uma. In this video we are going to make a beautiful sweater vest for a 12-month-old. Okay. Before that, many of you have asked me how do you check the size for whatever I'm doing. So what I'll do is I'll always go to Google, search for baby size chart or kids size chart. Now I'm going to do, since I'm going to do 12 months, I'm checking baby size chart. So any chart you can choose. If you see here, there will be a waist and chest size. So for 12 months it is 19.5 and 19. So I will do the foundation chain that measures 20 inches. So when I do my first round of either half double crochet or single crochet, it will be of 19 inches. That is how I will do. So if you want to make it as for a newborn, you will be making foundation chain for 16 inches. That's it. Okay. So this is how I usually go, and this time we have done two to three sweaters with the open, and we'll work from top to bottom. Now this is a sweater vest like a t-shirt, so we are going to work from bottom to top. Okay, so for this one we are starting with a ribbed border. So I am using two colors. Since it's for a boy, I am using sunflower color. You can use any colors, more than two colors if you want for a girl. Okay, so now for the border ribbed pattern, what I'm going to do is do a 10 chains. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I'm using red heart super saver, so I'm using 5.5 mm hook. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and turn your work. We always know we'll work in the back bump of the foundation chain, then do the half double crochet in from the second chain. So we'll have 9 stitches. If you want a bigger border, you can do 12 chains and do 11 stitches. If you want a smaller one, again 7 stitches will be fine. Okay, so do 9 half double crochets. Now after this 9 stitches, chain 1, turn your work. Now work on the back loop only here and throughout. Okay, so chain 1, back loop, half double crochet in all the 9 stitches. So when we work on a back loop in a half double crochet, then we'll have a ribbed look on the other side. You see, this will be giving us a ribbed look, which will be good for the border. So continue. Okay, you see, and now again chain 1, turn your work in the back loop, work a half double crochet. You can use single crochet also and work on the back loop, but if you do single crochet, there won't be 2 loops to form the ridge pattern. That ridge will be only 1 loop, but I like the texture of half double crochet, so that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to continue till I reach my base waist size, that is 19 inches. Okay, I don't know how many rows it's gonna take, but I'm going to continue 19 inches of the same ribbed pattern throughout, and we'll join and we'll start the sweater. Okay, so continue this. See, I have done 19 inches of the same half double crochet rows. I have 56 rows. Always end up with the even number of rows so that the ridges will be of uniform pattern, and the tail end will be on the other side, so that when we join these two ends we can start our sweater on the other side, in which we will be weaving in this tail end also. Okay, so don't fasten your yarn. Instead of cutting this and sewing this up, we are going to continue in the same way, the same yarn. Okay, so chain 1, do a slip stitch into the back loop of the last row and the front loop of the first row. You see, this is the back loop of this last row and the front loop of this first row. So insert, do a slip stitch. Okay, then again insert, do a slip stitch. Since we are using only one loop for slip stitching, the slip stitch row will not be a bulged one making a weird joining. Okay, it will be blended into the ridges what we have so far. So to the last slip stitch, and now we are in the top side with this tail end to weave in. So chain 1, do a half double crochet in each of the row with both the loops. If you see here, we have this gap since we have used the only one loop. So now when we do the half double crochet through the round, we are going to use this both loops so that we won't be having any extra spaces. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. You see, I have done the slip stitch with one loop, but for the half double crochet I'm using both the loops. And in the other side also, you see, you can see the loop, back loop on the back side, but insert in both the loops and do a slip stitch. Okay, so now we'll be having 50, how many rows we have done, that many stitches we'll be having. Since I have 56 rows, I'll be having 56 stitches. You will be having whatever size you are doing. Okay, so this half double crochet, and we are going to do one more half double crochet because this is just a base, so we have to build on the base. So 2 rows of half double crochet, and I'll meet you at the end of the second round and we'll start the pattern with the other color. Okay, I have done the first round of half double crochet, which is having only 56 stitches, which will not be the perfect size because this ripped pattern can be stretched, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase every 8th stitch for the 56 stitch. But if you have 60 stitches, you can increase every 6 stitches. If you have 70 stitches, you can increase every 10th stitch. It's up to you. No, don't worry about the count what we are going. It is just about the size what we want. Okay, so to go increase. But if you have more number of stitches apart from this row numbers in here, then you don't want to do a increase. Okay, if you have done the first stitch, first row itself. But since I have done the exact number of rows, I am increasing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and in the 8th stitch I am increasing because it's 56, which is a multiple of 8. I am just increasing every 8th stitch so that by the end of this round I'll be having 63 to 64 stitches. Okay, so that I will be maintaining my 19 inch of size. That's the reason, that's the only objective for this. Okay, we have to maintain the size. Okay, so continue this round, then we will start the yellow one. Okay. Okay, I have completed the second round of half double crochet. You can see the increase. And now take your another color, second color. It's just a simple pattern, but the colors you choose will actually ascend the project. Okay, so choose your color wisely and then start with 3 chains. Make sure the chains are so tight and small, okay, so that we won't be having extra gap. 3 chains, that will be our first double crochet, and in the same stitch do one more double crochet. Okay, then skip the next stitch. In the third stitch do 2 double crochet and skip the next stitch, and in the fifth stitch do 2 double crochet. This is what we are going to continue all the way through. Okay, since we have even number of stitches, we will be having 1 stitch to skip in the last and complete our first round. Okay, so do this. I'll meet you at the end of this round and we'll continue the next round. Okay. Okay, if you see here, I have done the same stitches, 2 double crochets in each stitch and skipping the next stitch all the way through. And instead of slip stitching into the third chain from the hook, I am slip stitching inside the post, inside the gap between the double crochet and the chain 3. Okay, so that we will be starting the next round in the space between 2 double crochets. There will be no chain 1 or no space, but we are actually working every row like this. If we have done a V stitch, there will be a chain 1 extra and it will be having more open space, but we want this vest to be cozy, so that's why we didn't do a chain 1 and we are doing just the 2 double crochets inside the in between the 2 double crochets of the previous row. Okay, so this is what I'm going to continue for 5 rows of yellow and 5 rows of brown and 5 rows of yellow. So total 15 rows. I'm going to continue the same pattern without any change. Okay, if you have 3 colors, you can do the same color in sequence and do the 15 rows. Okay, so we'll meet you at the end of this 15th row, including this one. Okay, 15th row, and we will check for the height and then we will start the armhole and the neck pattern. Alright, good. Okay, now I have done the 15 rounds of the 2 double crochet sets. If you see, for me, for a 1 year old, this is fine, where the here is where it starts the armhole. But if you're doing for a bigger size, I would recommend to do one more set with the first color, and another set also if you're doing for a bigger kit. Okay, now what we are going to do is, listen carefully, it's just as simple as that. You have your chain 3, the starting of your work in the sideways, exactly on the side. Okay, so count it as 1, 2. Count that as 1, and the next set, next 2 double crochet as 2. Then the same way count the back side also, 1 and 2. So we are going to skip these 4 sets of 2 double crochets for the armhole. Okay, if you are doing for a bigger size, so instead of these 4, you can skip one more also, totally 6, exactly in the front and the back. You can consider this as the starting stitch, where we have our chain 3. Okay, so now we have four sets of 2 double crochet skipped on one side. Like the same way, skip the 4 sets of 2 double crochets in the other side with exactly same number of stitches on the front and back. Like what I'm saying is, if you have 30 stitches, 30 sets of 2 double crochets in here for 60 stitches. Okay, now what you have to do is 8 and 8, so which is 52 stitches remaining. So you will have 26 in this side and 26 in this side. Got it? So that is where we are going to start. So make sure you have 4 skipped on this side and 4 skipped on this side. You can have a stitch marker also in here, or you can just count how many number of 2 double crochets you have to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm skipping 1 set and 2 set, and in the third set I'm starting in between, I'm starting the same pattern, 2 double crochets in the post. Okay, I don't want this brown color to be seen on the yellow color, so I'm just okay. You see, and in the next 2 double crochets I'm doing the same. So we are skipping 8 stitches for armhole, each side, and in the remaining sets I'm doing the same pattern. Again, if you are doing for a bigger size, for a bigger armhole, you can skip 12 stitches instead of 8 stitches. Okay. Now, when you reach the stitch where you have marked or you have counted, that's when you have to stop this round. Now once it is done, okay, now I have reached the end. So what I'm going to do is, instead of starting the next row from this side, which will show me my wrong side, I cut this yarn and start the new row on the same side, so that I'll have all the right sides in the front side. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, 5 rows of same pattern, but each row starts in the same end and ends in the same end, so that we can weave in these tail ends when we do the sleeves. Okay, so start from here, do your chain 3 and do a double crochet. Okay, so this way we don't have to worry about the wrong side showing in the front side. So continue this same for 5 rows, front and back. When you start the next row, you will skip 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, and you start from here. Continue the same number of sets what you are having here. So I will meet you at the end of the 5 rows on the front side, 5 rows on the back side, and we will continue the other yellow color also. Okay, see, I have done 5 rows of brown row wise on both the sides, leaving 8 stitches on the one side and 8 stitches on the other side. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to make the neck opening. Again, if you are making bigger size, you can do the same set one more time, 5 rows with the alternate color. Okay, then you can do the sleeves. Now since this is enough for me, I'm going to do the neck opening with the alternate color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first count your total sets. You see, 2 double crochet is a set, so count your total set and divide it into half. So you leave the half in the center, and with the remaining half you separate it into 2 and then cover those halves in here. For example, I am having 16 sets. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am leaving 8 in the middle, and with the remaining 8 I am going to do 4 on this side and 4 on this side to make the neck opening. Okay, so that this middle part will be open for neck. Okay, so now what I am going to do is start in the right side. Okay, insert, one, 2, 3. I'm not doing the tail, I'm not weaving in the tail ends on this side because yellow in brown will be awkwardly visible, so I'm just looping in the chain itself. Okay, now 2 double crochets, and in the remaining 3 sets I'm doing 3 more sets. Okay, now you can either work on the same side or you can cut this yarn and start from here, but since it's just a small one and it's gonna be in the shoulder, we don't worry if it is in the wrong side or not. Okay, so now again, in order to reach this space, I'm going to do chain 1, slip stitch into the first stitch and slip stitch into the middle space. Okay, then chain 3 and 1 double crochet. Now again 2 double crochets in the remaining sets, and the same thing. You are not going to continue the whole 5 sets. Okay, you can actually adjust within these two because we are going to just sew them up with this side and this side. We are going to sew it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just doing 3 rows on each side, and I'll do the same in all the 4 sides, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so that I'll be having 6 rows including these 2, which will have a bigger neck opening for me. Okay, if you want to have a little more bigger neck, you can do 4 rows or 5 rows even, that will be fine. Okay, so that is what I am going to do. Now again chain 3, 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets in all the stitches. Okay, I'm going to do the same in all the 4 sides, and then we'll join together and start with the sleeves. Okay.